6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight three-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the 3rd had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. The Sox had their chances in the bottom of the 9th, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the 3rd had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. The Sox had their chances in the bottom of the 9th, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an eighth-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the seventh inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take two in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their four-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight three-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. The Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take two in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their four-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight three-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. The Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the 3rd had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the 9th, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the 3rd had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the 9th, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight three-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the sixth. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the third had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. Sox had their chances in the bottom of the ninth, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory even though he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings of work. The first-place Red Sox scored early, but not enough. A Manny Ramirez first-inning homer plus a Mike Lowell 2-run triple in the 3rd had the Sox up 5-4 after 3. The Sox had their chances in the bottom of the 9th, but both David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez flew out with the winning run on first base. Toronto has alternated wins and losses over its last 5 games and will try to break that pattern with Dustin McGowan on the mound. McGowan, though, has been similarly erratic lately, following a win with a loss over his previous 5 starts. Daisuke Matsuzaka won 10 games in the first half, but he's looking to bounce back from a lackluster effort at Detroit last Sunday. He yielded 6 runs and 10 hits in just 5 innings of Boston's 6-5 loss, suffering his first defeat since June 10th. Blue Jays reliever Scott Downs was walking with a considerable amount of tape around his right ankle on Friday. On Thursday, he had the foot bruised by an 8th-inning line drive off the bat of Dustin Pedroia. Downs was okay enough to pitch in the 7th inning last night and got credit for a hold. Curt Schilling took the mound Friday afternoon for a 55-pitch side session that had everyone optimistic about his recovery from right shoulder woes. The next key day is Monday when he faces batters in a simulated inning. The Blue Jays look to take 2 in a row against the Red Sox. It's McGowan going up against Matsuzaka. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. in Boston. You can see it live on MLB.tv beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays evened up the score against the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their 4-game series last night. They're back at it again tonight as Dustin McGowan takes on Daisuke Matsuzaka. Game time set for 7:05 p.m. at Fenway Park. Toronto got their first win of the second half, beating the Red Sox 6-5. All-star Alex Rios turned in his second straight 3-hit performance. Frank Thomas, Troy Gloss, and Reed Johnson also had multiple hit nights, with Johnson knocking in the go-ahead run in the 6th. Sean Markham got the victory.
Jeremy Accardo shut the door on the Red Sox as he retired David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez to secure the win as the Jays tied the series. Welcome to Fenway Park for Game 3 of a 4-game series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Game 3 of the series, and tonight we see Daisuke Matsuzaka had a fantastic first half. Jerry, what can we expect in the second half?
Well, Don, you mentioned, the fantastic first half, and I don't think he disappointed anybody around the Red Sox organization or Red Sox fans. He did find out, though, last time out against Detroit, that if you're not on top of your game against good-hitting ball clubs like the Tigers, they're going to take advantage of you, and they certainly did against Daisuke in his last outing before the end of the first half. Now, looking toward the second half, he's really going into uncharted waters, because when you look back at his career in Japan, there'll be more starts that he's going to make this year. Now, games 26 last year in Japan, they don't play as big a schedule as they do in the United States. And, of course, you can look at the innings, 220 innings projected for this year if he stays healthy compared to 185. It's a longer season. There's difficult travel, more difficult than what he's used to in Japan. So those things could become a factor for him as he gets deeper and deeper into the second half. But he's also a guy that prepares himself so well and works so hard at his craft, it may not be a factor at all. The Red Sox certainly hope they have the same type of second half that they did from the first half from Daisuke, and I think they'll be very pleased with that.
Well, tonight the Red Sox matched up against Dustin McGowan, the first pitch from Fenway, in Game 3 of the series coming your way next. By Southwest Airlines, the New England Subaru dealers, Foxwoods Resort Casino, Rico, Pepsi, and by New England Toyota dealers. Hey, good evening once again, everybody. Welcome back to Fenway Park. Game 3 of the 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays on another beautiful night from Fenway Park, with the breeze blowing out towards the monster seats in left field tonight. And the Red Sox looking to bounce back after a tough loss here last night, a 1-run loss for the Toronto Blue Jays. Here are the conditions tonight. 73 degrees your temperature. The wind out of center field at 12 miles per hour, and the humidity at 61%. Right now just a couple of clouds above, but mostly clear on a nice night here from very, very comfortable conditions, as the Red Sox ready to go here against the Toronto Blue Jays. And Mike Lowell continues to have a fantastic season as he heads into tonight's action with a .302 batting average. And Mike back at third base tonight for Boston. One thing that we are not seeing tonight is J.D. Drew, and no word yet as to how serious that hamstring situation is. Last night coming out of the ball game, not in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Terry Francona's meeting with the media. He had yet to speak with Drew at that point, so we had no word coming out of that clubhouse just how bad the hamstring problem is. Obviously, the right move, get him out of the game, keep him out until it's better. Hopefully, it won't be a DL situation, and J.D. Drew will be back in the lineup very soon.
So for the Red Sox in right field tonight, it is Eric Hinske who gets the start. We saw Hinske in the game last night. Of course, also saw Willie Pena in the game. As tonight on the mound for the Red Sox will be Daisuke Matsuzaka in his first start of the second half. As Manny Ramirez heads out onto the field by himself for the moment. But soon there'll be others.
Well, we certainly hope so. Manny does play shallow, but he can't play all those positions.
Well, the Red Sox take the field as a group now. And as they do, let's check out the visiting Toronto Blue Jays starting nine. Their lineup brought to you by Rico. Vernon Wells back at the top of the lineup for the 16th straight game. Reed Johnson in left field. Alex Rios in right field. Frank Thomas, a designated hitter, with Troy Gloss at third base. Lyle Overbay at first base. Aaron Hill at second, bat seventh. The veteran Greg Zahn does the catching, batting eighth. And John McDonald at shortstop, bats ninth. On the mound tonight for the Red Sox, Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, Daisuke making his 19th start of the season. He is 10-6 and coming off a tough one just prior to the break against the Detroit Tigers. Only lasted 5 innings in that game, gave up 10 hits and 6 runs, and a season-high 3 home runs against Detroit. Clearly on that day, Daisuke did not have his good stuff, and when you don't have good stuff against the Detroit Tigers, they're going to hurt you. So far this season, 2 starts against the Blue Jays. Both of them coming up in Canada at the Rogers Center, and he has a record of 1-1 with a very impressive 2.08 ERA against Toronto. The Red Sox defense is brought to you by your Boston area Lexus dealers, 5th in the league with 51 errors in 89 games. Mike Lowell will be at third base, Julio Lugo the shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, and Kevin Youkilis at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Coco Crisp, and Eric Hinske, and Jason Varitek doing the catching for Daisuke.
Umpiring crew, Wally Bell in behind the plate calling the balls and strikes tonight. Bill Welke at first base. Laz Diaz at second base, and John Hirschbeck is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, Daisuke Matsuzaka on the hill tonight for the Red Sox. Tough outing last night for Julian Tavares in the second game of the series. The loss going to Kyle Snyder in last night's game. As the Blue Jays got 4 outs from their closer last night, and Jeremy Accardo for John Gibbons and the Toronto Blue Jays, who picked up their 44th win of the year and are a game under 500 to begin tonight's action at 44-45, 10 games back of the Red Sox.
Tell you what, when you look at this Blue Jay lineup, it is a very good offensive lineup. The problem with the Blue Jays, they've had so many injuries all season long, they have not been able to keep their team together, whether it be the pitching or the position players. At some point, somebody has gone to disable us, so they haven't had their complete group.
Yeah, they got problems now, of course, in the starting rotation. Gustavo Chacin is out for them, as well as A.J. Burnett. And, of course, the end of the game, B.J. Ryan, a huge hole for them, although Jeremy Accardo has done a nice job in his absence. Vernon Wells, who's been leading off tonight, the 16th time he's done that. It's a .252, 13 homers, and 50 runs batted in. The experiment to the top spot of the order in the Toronto lineup has worked out well for him, kind of jump-started him after a very slow start in the 3 spot. Matsuzaka ahead of him, 0-1. Inside, a ball and a strike now to Vernon Wells.
Mentioned the 2 starts against Toronto, a total of 13 innings and 3 earned runs allowed for Daisuke against the Blue Jays.
Here are the numbers against the Blue Jays in the 2 starts. He's held them as a team to a 170 batting average. Tap foul off Varitek, and the count evens at 2-2. On deck, Reed Johnson as the Blue Jays bat here in the top half of the first inning. Daisuke third in strikeouts with 123. Tied for fifth in wins. And leads all Major League rookies in wins, strikeouts, and innings heading into tonight's action. Wells tried to hold up. Did he? Yes, he did, says Bill Welke, first base umpire.
Don, you mentioned the strikeouts being third in the league. Trails two left-handers. Eric Badon of Baltimore leads the American League with 156. Then it's Santana of Minnesota with 133. But Badon has really been punching out a lot of guys recently.
Wells drives it to deep left field. Manny back, looking up, and that is off the wall. Murray plays the carom as it gets by him. And to second base goes Vernon Wells with a wall ball double.
Vernon Wells able to check his swing. He gets another chance. He gets the cut fastball right down the middle of the plate and plants it off that left field wall. Ball took kind of a funny bounce to the right of Manny Ramirez, and no problem for Wells to get into second base with the leadoff double.
So Wells at second now for Reed Johnson. He gets back-to-back starts after not appearing in the first game of the series. Johnson at 260 with a home run, 8 runs batted in. Always enjoying great numbers against the Red Sox as he takes strike one from Matsuzaka. In the shallow left center, out goes Lugo. In comes Manny, who makes the basket catch with Crispin behind him. Some late communication there. Manny makes the catch for out number one.
Yeah, it must have taken Manny a long time to call for that ball because both Lugo and Coco Crisp looked like they were going right to the last second to make the catch. Then finally Manny comes in the middle of them, in between the sandwich, and makes the play.
So one down. Wells at second base, and here's Alex Rios. Right fielder at 304 to begin the night. 18 homers and 55 runs batted in. The runner-up in the home run derby during the All-Star break, losing to Vladimir Guerrero. A strike from Matsuzaka. He's had first pitch strikes to each of the first 3 batters that he's faced tonight. Rios coming into tonight with an 8-game hitting streak and hitting at .500 during the streak. 15 for 30.
Yeah, and in 6 at-bats against Daisuke, he has 3 hits.
He is 6 for 8 in this series against the Red Sox. Hops it up, sending Pedroia backpedaling to short right center for out number 2.
You know, one thing Daisuke did not have in his last start was location with his pitches, but that time he puts the fastball where he wants it on the outside part of the plate against Rios, and the result, the pop up to second base. Varitek jumping outside. The fastball is going to be away, so he hits his spot and he gets the out.
So leadoff double by Vernon Wells. He's still standing at second base with 2 outs in the inning for Frank Thomas. At 255, 14 homers and 44 runs batted in. Pops it up into shallow right. Hinsky coming in. Pedroia out, and it's Pedroia makes the catch that ends the inning. Leadoff double wasted by Wells. Red Sox coming up. is coming up and facing Dustin McGowan.
5-4 on the season with the 4.65. He has never made a start against the Red Sox, but he does have a couple of relief appearances against Boston.
Coco Crisp with a high chopper to first. Overbay will flip to the bag to McGowan for out number 1. Let's check out the rest of the Red Sox starting 9, brought to you by New England Dodge Dealers. We've seen Chris Pease in center, Dustin Pedroia at second base, David Ortiz, a designated hitter, with Manny Ramirez in left field, Kevin Youkilis at first base, Mike Lowell at third base, Jason Varitek does the catching with Eric Hinsky out in right field tonight, and Julio Lugo at shortstop bats ninth. One down here in the last half of the first inning, and it brings up Dustin Pedroia. Last night had a bug fly in his eye and was battling that as it got up in the top of his eyelid. But did not leave the game last night. Stayed in for the game's ending. Starts tonight at .312, 3 homers, and 25 runs batted in.
Getting back to McGowan for a second. He had a no-hitter back on June 24th against Colorado, but it was broken up in the 9th inning by a single. But going into the 9th with a no-hitter against the Colorado Rockies.
All 1 to Pedroia, and it's 1-2. Just in the last 5 games, he's had his average drop from .322 down to .312, going 4 for his last 20. And so far in the series against Toronto, 1 for 8. Chop to third, Troy Glass. And there's 2 down, kind of threw it towards the runner, but there's 2 away.
Toronto defense is brought to you by a New England Ford dealers. They've made 10 more errors than the Red Sox. They have 61 on the season. Troy Glass at third base, John McDonald at shortstop, Aaron Hill at second, Lyle Overbay at first. Left to right, Pete Johnson, 3 Gold Gloves for Vernon Wells, Alex Rios, and Craig Zahn doing the catching for McGowan.
2 down in the inning on a beautiful night at Fenway Park. Last rays of sunshine can be seen out there in right center field by the Boston bullpen. As David Ortiz stands in with 2 away. David starting tonight at .318 with 14 homers and 54 runs batted in. Had a chance last night with the Red Sox trailing by a run in the 9th inning. He and Manny Ramirez both to at the very least tie the game last night for the Red Sox, but Jeremy Accardo, the closer right now for the Blue Jays, able to shut the door on Big Papi and the Red Sox last night.
Red Sox tonight will see 2 different types of fastball, cross seam, 2-seam, the curveball, the slider, and the changeup from McGowan.
He's 25 years old, from Savannah, Georgia. And parts of 3 seasons now in Toronto. Behind Ortiz now, 3-0. And 3-0. To deep right field. Rios headed back. Looking up. Gone. Into the bullpen. Big Papi's gone deep for the 15th time. Puts Boston on top 1-0.
And Ortiz swings to the green light on 3-0 more than any member of the Boston Red Sox. And this time it pays off in the home run for Big Papi. That's only the 5th home run that McGowan has allowed this season, but a 3-0 fastball right down Broadway. And the line shot into the bullpen of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Now Manny He was able to hit one here last night as he takes the strike. Ramirez hitting at .288, 12 homers and 51 runs batted in. And a home run in the first inning of last night's game. Career home run number 482, 26th on the all-time list.
You know, incredibly, Don, that's Manny's first home run here at Fenway Park since way back on April 21st. And, of course, that was against the Yankees. That's amazing. He's gone that long here without a home run.
Fouled off to the right, and it's 1-2. Time now for the Coors Cold Blast and look at his home run from last night, a 2-run shot. And for Ramirez, his 12th of the season. Puts him 5 now behind Jim Thome on the all-time list. He's 26th. Now he has 54 home runs lifetime against the Toronto Blue Jays, the highest totals of any Toronto opponent. Strikes out this time. He knew it as Dustin McGowan gets him to end the inning. David Ortiz hits a home run and puts Boston on top 1-0.
Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation helping to raise money for life-saving cancer research. Covidian.
New Jersey. They don't have a lot of signs from New Jersey, come to think of it. Our stand-in producer and associate producer, Adam Jupiter, proud native of New Jersey.
He's a Mets fan, though.
Oh. They're Red Sox fans from New Jersey. Troy Glaus, 280 with 11 homers and 37 runs batted in. Glaus, Overbay, and Hill. Daisuke gave up a leadoff double to Vernon Wells in the first inning. And proceeded to get Reed Johnson, Alex Rios, and Frank Thomas. This one driven to deep left field. Manny Ramirez back looking up, and that is high off the wall. The ricochet to Crisp, who guns it back in. Going to be close, and Glaus is out. Glaus feels he never touched him.
And he's out by a long margin. He must have made a heck of a slide if he thought he was safe at second base, but I'll tell you, that ball was there way in front of Troy Glaus. Coco Crisp playing it perfectly off the wall. with his bare hands, similar to the way Manny does it. All the way in the air. Oh, wow.
He's right.
He is absolutely right. There was no tag at all. This is some pretty good work by Troy Glass. Watch the right hand come right over the top. No tag. And no argument from the dugout. Well, he made a heck of a play there. Heck of a slide. And he was begging. It's almost like he was begging for somebody to come out and argue for him.
Well, the Red Sox fortunate there. Loss turns out to be out number 1. A single. We'll get another look here. Clearly missing him.
Yeah. Watch the right hand come up on top, right over the glove, and not even close to being a tag.
Pedroia realizes he didn't get him either. He got away with one. As the count 1-1 to Lyle Overbay with 1 out in the inning.
Well, you wonder, John Hirschbeck threw out Gibbons. What, game 1 of this series?
Yes.
On a play at first base, and you wondered if that kept John Gibbons in the dugout because, clearly when Glass popped up, I mean, he has hands out like, come on, come out here and argue, please, I'm safe.
John Gibbons has been ejected 3 times this season. And in the first game, his argument was that he wanted to have John Hirschbeck check with Laz Diaz, who was the home plate umpire, in a close play at first down the line where it was a tag play. This one fouled off. But Glass this time is clearly in the right. And he turns out to be out number 1. Overbay with a count of 2-2.
Chris picks up his 4th assist. Manny has 6 to lead the Red Sox in that category.
Outside full count to Lyle Overbay. Overbay had been hit in the right hand by a pitch back on June 3rd. Went on the DL with a fractured right hand. And rehabbed in New Hampshire at AA. The Eastern League activated off the 15-day DL on the 12th of July, just in time for this series against the Red Sox. Hanging tough here. About to see his 8th pitch of the at-bat. Sliced foul off to the left, and will do it again with a count of 3-2 to Lyle Overbay. Overbay, 30 years old, from Centrella, Washington. Now in his 2nd season with Toronto. Fouled off of Varitek, and it's still 3-2. This part of a walk-off victory last year for the Toronto Blue Jays against the Red Sox early in the season last year, April 21st. He entered a 12-inning game with a walk-off double against Boston. And last year, in his first year in Toronto, had 22 homers, 92 runs batted in. A successful first venture, hit at .312. Walks after a long at bat. First walk of the night given up by Matsuzaka.
FW Webb is proud to be the official supplier of plumbing, heating, and cooling supplies for the Boston Red Sox. To learn more about how FW Webb can help you, contact your local professional contractor or visit FWWebb.com. FW Webb, we've got it.
So 1 out, 1 on. After a long at bat, Lyle Overbay reaches on the base on balls, and here's Aaron Hill. 268, 9 homers, and 49 runs batted in for Hill. Strike over the outside corner to Hill. The young Blue Jays, one of their first rounders, elevated to the majors. He's 25 years old, from Visalia, California. Originally drafted by the Angels in the 7th round, but elected not to sign. In fact, went to the Fighting Tigers in Louisiana State University instead. Another strike, same spot. It's 0-2.
Visalia used to have a minor league team. I don't know if they still do, but it used to be the Mets that were out there in single A baseball.
California League?
California League.
Well, they're the Visalia Oaks for a while. I don't know if they're still out there or not. On the ground sharply by the dive of Lugo into center field. And Overbay up to second base.
Now Hill's had a very good series here against the Red Sox. He's hit in 3 straight, 5 for his last 12. Now picks up the base hit on an 0-2 fastball from Daisuke. It's going to be up, but it's out over the plate, and on top of it is Hill to get that ground ball base hit by Lugo. So the Red Sox catch a huge break with that first play of the inning. Bloss obviously safe at second base, but called out. That becomes a big out.
So 2 on, 1 away, and here's Greg Zahn. Catcher, 241, 3 homers and 20 runs batted in. A 35-year-old catcher. Coming back here with the Toronto Blue Jays, re-signing as a free agent this past offseason. Fouling off the first one. In the major league since 1995 when he broke in with the Baltimore Orioles. He has bounced all over, but has found a home here in Toronto over the last 4 seasons. Sharing time with Benji Molina last year. Now plays for the San Francisco Giants out on the West Coast. Breaking ball missing, and the count evens at 1-1. On deck, John McDonald, number 9 hitter in the Blue Jays orders. They bat here in the top half of the second, threatening with 1 out. Overbay at second, Hill at first. A strike to Zahn. Fouled at the dish, still 1-2. Kind of seeing an approach tonight by the Toronto Blue Jays, similar to where the Red Sox and Yankees do so well, and that's to drive the pitch count up of the starting pitchers. And Daisuke throwing his 20th pitch of this inning, 30th of the outing, as Paul Assard's out to check on Varitek on the foul tip.
Yeah, bounced right up underneath the neck, right in the neck of Jason Varitek.
A lot of catchers wear that extra pad right below it. But Jason's guard comes a little bit lower and still gets up underneath there on the foul tip. In on the hands and popped up. Pedroia will drift back to grab it, and there's 2 down. Big out.
Again, very good location with the fastball from Daisuke as he got inside. He jammed Zahn. Fastball in. Varitek wants it in. That's where he gets it. And Zahn pops it up to second base. So location and fastball in this game has been pretty good for Daisuke.
So 2 down, runners at first and second, and here's John McDonald. 278, a home run and 13 runs batted in. Fouled off to the right. John McDonald, who went to Providence College, Born in East Lyme, Connecticut. Now resides in Westlake, Ohio during the offseason.
Pete Walker from East Lyme, Connecticut also?
Yes, indeed. Two former Toronto Blue Jays, one current, one former. Instinct for ball 1-1 to John McDonald. Broke into the big leagues with the Cleveland Indians in '99 and parts of 5 seasons with Cleveland. Into Toronto, to Detroit, back to Toronto, and now in his second stint with the Toronto Blue Jays. Top of the order, Vernon Wells waiting on deck, 2 outs, top of the second. Too far inside, 2-1.
Daisuke trying to pick up the inside corner, didn't miss by very much. You see Varitek trying to pull it back to the corner, which would indicate it was a ball. The LoJack Caught Stealing Sweepstakes is back again for another season. Visit LoJack.com/caught-stealing for details and to enter to win. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Two down here in the top half of the second inning. Gooses are wild on the scoreboard and left. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the second. And McDonald flares another one foul off to the right. The Red Sox at 54-35 coming in, tied with the Angels for the best winning percentage in the major leagues. Red Sox had the best winning percentage alone for a long time, but the Angels playing very good baseball once again. And they're atop the AL West. Red Sox, of course, atop the AL East with a 10-game lead to begin the day. McDonald grounds it to third. Lowell will throw across the diamond to first in time. The Jays strand a pair. We played an inning and a half, 1-0 Boston. 1-0 Red Sox on top as we head to the last half of the second inning. Kevin Youkilis, Mike Lowell, Jason Varitek. Home run by David Ortiz. The difference in this one is 15th home run of the season. The only hit so far given up by Dustin McGowan. Youkilis at .324 to begin the night. 9 homers and 45 runs batted in. Youkilis starting the last 3 games after missing 5 straight. With tightness in his right quadriceps. Taking on the 3-0 and taking strike 1. To right field. Alex Rios drifting over and back to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Catch the Red Sox and Blue Jays tomorrow live from Fenway Park at 2 o'clock in Nesson. High definition from the comfort of a Showcase Cinema Theater for another Nesson HD game night Red Sox live. Visit Nesson.com for a season schedule and a list of participating theaters. So tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, catch this finale between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
Let's have them do some stuff. We haven't done that in a while. We have them get up in the theater and change seats and do all kinds of different things. I'm sure they love that.
We'll have to find out if they can hear us between innings, first of all.
Oh, that's right. That's how that was working. Maybe it's not such a good idea. Like Lowell stands in with 1 out. Fouls it off. Get a piece of the home plate umpire, Wally Bell. And it's 2-1 for the Red Sox third baseman.
They haven't played 2 innings yet, and Wally Bell's been clipped twice in this game so far.
On the ground, a lot of English on it as Overbay runs it down and flips to the pitcher. Overbay again playing over to the second base side at first. And there's 2 down.
Tickets are now on sale for the 2nd annual Futures at Fenway doubleheader at Fenway Park on August the 11th. The low-price twin bill is presented by Filene's Basement and features the Portland and Lowell clubs this year. See RedSox.com for details. What a great night at Fenway. Beautiful weather. Full house again. Perfect conditions.
So far, so good on the homestand. As Jason Varitek stands in and takes strike 1. Well, homestand it is for the Red Sox. Yes, they have one more game against these Toronto Blue Jays, and they'll host the Kansas City Royals Monday through Wednesday. For the White Sox, arrive for the first time this season for a 4-gamer. And the Red Sox head back out on the road, a stretch that will end of 18 of 21 here at Fenway Park. Spending the bulk of July here at Fenway. Varitek strikes out quickly. It's the second strikeout for McGowan in a 1-2-3 inning. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead.
About Monday, think big with Red Sox Monster Monday, presented by BMW of Peabody. Join TC, Tina, myself, and the rest of the Nesson crew. Prepare you for the week ahead with big stars, big stories, and big fun. Don't miss Red Sox Monster Monday this Monday at 5:30. Now, this gentleman here and his wife, they were up in the booth prior to the ball game. They are very close friends of Michael Narachi, who's directing our ball game tonight. And this guy owns a big boat. It's almost like a yacht. And he takes Narachi out fishing on it.
Most of Mike's friends do something for Mike. It seems to be a recurring theme. He has a lot of good friends, but they all seem to produce something for him. This one is chopped to third. Lowell's throw in time for the first out.
People with money hang together.
I guess that's true. Let's check in with Tina Cervasio. She's got a lot of money. Tina?
I wish I did. Give me some of that money you guys have up there. Well, Jerry mentioned earlier that Daisuke Matsuzaka struggled with the location of his pitches back in his last start in Detroit. Well, the manager said the same thing today, and in order for Matsuzaka to be successful, it all comes down to the fastball.
I think it's with all pitchers command, and probably command of your fastball. Sometimes your off-speed pitches are there or to more of an extent. But if you command your fastball, you always have a chance.
Now that the manager can look back on the entire first half of this season, he can actually break down the biggest difference for Matsuzaka that he sees when comparing a good outing to a night where he struggles. Tonight so far, Jerry, you've said it a couple of times that Matsuzaka is spotting that fastball very well.
Well, he has, and he's got some outs on it. This is unusual. Daisuke working from the set position with nobody on first base.
We've often said at times you like to see more fastballs from Daisuke at times. It seems like he goes away from him quite a bit, actually, over a couple of different outings. Returned once, but really not been consistent with that. It seems like it changes all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't have one set pattern. You know, he kind of changes things, I guess, by the way he approaches certain teams. But, you know, Daisuke's got a good fastball, and especially when he can locate it well. And sometimes I've felt in a few of the games that he's pitched in, you know, maybe he hasn't used it enough, especially early in the game, to set up his other pitches.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Reed Johnson. First strikeout of the night for Daisuke.
Well, apparently Daisuke, for some odd reason, going to the set position with nobody on base. Maybe he just feels comfortable at this stage of the game throwing from that position instead of the windup. He was not doing that last inning.
He has the first two outs here in the top half of the third inning. Alex Rios popped out to second. And his first at bat takes ball one. Daisuke's already made two starts against the Blue Jays, both coming north the border and in Toronto at Rogers Center. A 1-1 record with a 2.08 earned run average. Has given up 3 earned runs in 13 innings pitched against Toronto. And took the loss back on April 17th despite giving up just 2 runs over 6 innings, and then tossed 7 innings of 1-run ball in a win on May 9th. And a 4-pitch walk to Alex Rios with 2 outs, second base on balls given up by Matsuzaka.
Well, I hope he doesn't wind up now with the man at first.
No, go backwards.
Sometimes pitchers feel maybe more comfortable out of that set position. We see what a lot of relievers that come into game. They a lot of them almost never use a wind up. Oh, Varitek got crossed up there.
And up to second goes Rios.
Which is unusual with no man at second base. It's the same set of signs, but for some odd reason, Varitek was definitely crossed up. He was not expecting a fastball there from Matsuzaka. Expecting a breaking ball of some sort. That ball really got on him in a hurry.
He got him in the wrist.
Yeah, right hand maybe, right wrist.
A hand.
And that's his throwing hand, too.
Now it's the pass ball.
Don't see that very often, a cross-up between pitcher and catcher without a man at second base.
Oh, runner in scoring position now for Frank Thomas. It popped out to second base first time up. In there for a strike. Seemed to buckle Thomas, and it's 1-1. Right now part of the 500 club. Total of 501 home runs now for Frank Thomas. And his last one off Jeff Weaver. The 21st player in Major League history to accomplish such a feat, 500 plus home runs. There's 3 home runs behind Eddie Murray for the 20th spot all time. And in June, passed Edgar Martinez for the most home runs all time by a DH, 244 of his 501 as a DH. And look at the active leader list. And there are many who think that when it's all said and done, when A-Rod is done, he'll be at the top of that list.
Well, you know, I've always said if Griffey would have stayed healthy, where would he have been?
Yeah.
You know?
So many injuries, especially after he returned to Cincinnati. Been one injury after another. And a strike in there on the breaking ball and full count. Troy Gloss waits on deck. 2 outs, top of the third. Rios at second base. Thomas to center field. Crisp backhand over to reel it in and to end the inning. 2.5 in the books. It's a 1-0 Boston lead. Last half of the third inning, Eric Kinski leading it off for Boston. Eric into the game last night defensively and had an at-bat replacing J.D. Drew, one of 3 right fielders the Red Sox ended up featuring by the night's end last night, with Willie Mopena taken over in right late in the game.
Seen a couple of change-ups from McGowan so far in this game, and they've been very, very good. That last pitch to Hinsky, the change-up. Keeping it down, keeping it out of the strike zone.
Last 5 games, Hinsky has gone 0 for 11. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
That's 3 in a row. 3 change-ups in a row from McGowan to Hinsky. This time it stays inside, but it's still down and off speed enough to fool Eric.
If you're a hitter right now, you're thinking there's no way he's going to do it a 4th time.
Yeah. This is a tough one when you get behind on 3 straight change-ups. Fastball, and he's a little bit late on it, but I think most guys almost always sit on the fastball. Try to adjust to the off-speed stuff.
This is inside. I imagine, especially with division and the fact you play teams so much, Red Sox and Blue Jays play 18 times, not seen a lot of McGowan, obviously first time as a starter reliever in the past, but I mean, you must start to realize how they try to get you out when you have a chance to face those guys so much, and there are different patterns they use over the years too. If you log more time in the major leagues, you may overthink yourself, I would think, at times too. As Hinsky pops it up left side, John McDonald back a few steps for the first out of the inning. Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by your New England Chrysler dealers, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, and by Dunkin' Donuts.
Getting back to your point, Don, it's true they play each other so much now in the division that there aren't many secrets, between teams. They still obviously prepare the way they would for any other club, but I mean, they see so much of each other. I mean, you pretty much know what to expect, and it is a game of making changes, making adjustments, and you just can't do the same thing to a hitter all the time, and just as you can't approach a pitcher the same way all the time. So it's always a guessing game, and they'll go back, they watch video of how they try to get him out, especially with men in scoring position. That's a good indication how they're going to pitch in tough spots.
Well, Lugo lining it into left field. Reed Johnson over to play it, and Lugo's got himself a 1-out base hit.
4 straight games now for Julio Lugo. He is 7 for his last 12. He's got that average up over 200, low fastball, and Lugo puts it on a line in the left field for the base hit. Expect him to try to run. 23 steals for Lugo.
One out, one on, and Coco Crisp stands in. He grounded out to first base first time up.
Teams change too. For example, you see the Blue Jays a lot early in the season. I haven't seen them for quite a while, so you've got to go on, look at the reports and who's been hot, what they're doing. Are they doing anything different? Are they running more, hit and run more? All those kind of things managers and coaches have to take a look at.
It amazes me as much now watching the players how much video they watch.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. I mean, Billy Broadbent, who obviously takes care of that for the Red Sox. I mean, it's incredible the things that they have on computer and how quickly they can pick up. Not only look at their at bat, but go back and look at an at bat a year ago against a certain guy. Tremendous advantage.
It's a strike to Crisp, and the count 1-1.
I'd like to have the money that major league teams invest now in their video systems. It's they're all very elaborate, and you see players, we see it more on the road because a lot of the times the computers are out in the middle of the clubhouse. They don't have a video room, and we see the players sit down prior to a game. They'll look at the pitcher, how he's worked against them in the past. They'll look how he's pitched to other guys that are similar to them.
Out towards right center field. This is a jolt. Wells headed back, not going to get there. It's headed to the triangle. Crisp pin run as Lugo will score from first. Coco will pull it up at third base with an RBI triple. It has Boston on top 2-0.
That ball splits the outfield, and once it gets past that and gets to that 420, no question it's going to be 3 bases for Coco Crisp. It's a fastball he gets from McGowan and finds that triangle out there in center field. Triple number 4 on the season for Crisp, as Lugo with his speed has no problem coming around. Actually slow up and kind of glide into home plate.
Fourth triple of the year for Coco Crisp, and he picks up his 29th RBI. As Pedroia bats infield in all the way around for Toronto, and it's Overbay who gets it at the lip of the grass and takes it himself to the bag for out number 2. Crisp remains at third with now 2 down. The infield in worked that time, and there's 2 away.
Now early in this ball game, with the 1 out especially, bringing the infield in against Pedroia, and it pays off. You're not going to play contact in this situation, even though Coco has speed, because you have Big Papi coming up next.
Thank you very much. Papi in the bat has already done it once tonight. A home run in the first inning, his 15th.
I had a lady ask me the other day, would you please explain contact play? I guess sometimes maybe, you take for granted they know what it is, but if there's a man on third base and the infield's in, if the contact play is on, as soon as that runner at third reads a ground ball, he takes off and goes for home. And it takes almost a perfect play by an infield to get him at home.
Ortiz down the line in right. Towards the corner goes Rios, and Rios cannot make the catch. It'll jump up into the seats for a ground rule double that will plate Crisp and give the Red Sox a 3-0 advantage.
Now, again, being unfamiliar with right field here at Fenway Park, I think really cost Rios on this, because he had room. But it's a strange angle out there, and I believe that Rios thought this ball might be out of the ballpark, because as he gets closer to the wall, you can see right here he kind of just bats off right there. He didn't know where he was exactly, how much room he had. Kind of took his eye off the baseball because he was getting on top of that wall.
Well, Big Papi picks up his 2nd RBI of the game on his 31st double of the season. With first base open, they'll walk Manny Ramirez intentionally. And take their chances with Kevin Youkilis, who waits on deck.
Now Youkilis on deck. Remember that Detroit series, how they were walking David Ortiz every time up to get to Manny Ramirez, and it paid off for Jimmy Leland. Let's see if Youkilis can make this hurt.
8th time Manny has been walked intentionally. Leads the club in that category. As Gibbons elects to go after Youkilis. With runners now at 1st and 2nd and 2 down. Youkilis flying to right, first time up. Getting his 2nd look at Dustin McGowan. Youkilis takes ball one. Well, McGowan got the first out of the inning on a pop out by Hinsky. Single by Lugo. The triple by Crisp to drive in a run. Then Pedroia grounded out. Ortiz doubles. Ground rule double down the right field line. Red Sox take a 3-0 advantage. Manning intentionally walked. 2 on, 2 down. Changed his mind in the middle on the swing. And it's 1-1. 95 that time from Dustin McGowan.
Yeah, and he's got some movement on that fastball too. This ball running back inside on Kevin Youkilis. I think he foul tipped it.
This has had a quiet series so far. 1 for 7 in the series against the Jays. Waiting on a 1-1 pitch from Dustin McGowan. And Zahn now head out to talk to McGowan as they try to get on the same page.
For the top 9 countdown of all things Sox from the past week, don't miss Granite City Electric Ultimate Red Sox Show. In this week's All-Star episode, Hazel May, here's what it means to make the team. Looks back at Pedro's All-Star performance in 1999 and chats with Big Papi about his new kicks. That's Granite City Electric Ultimate Red Sox Show tomorrow and every Sunday at 12:30 right here on NESN.
1-1 the count to Kevin Youkilis with Ortiz at second, Ramirez at first. A strike to Youkilis, and it's 1-2. With runners in scoring position and 2 outs, Youkilis hitting at .333 this season. Down low, and it's 2-2. On the ground left side, John McDonald will go to second for the force out. The Red Sox grab 2 runs in the bottom of the third and take a 3-0 advantage. Pan Mass Challenge time, and along with us, the founder of the Pan Mass Challenge, Billy Starr. Great to see you. How's it going?
It's great, guys. Great to be back. Thank you very much.
5,000 people here before the ball game. That is huge.
It's almost as many as we're going to have PMC weekend. We're anticipating over 5,200 riding one of 6 different routes.
That is terrific, and I know the goal has gone up every year, but this year, impressed. You're looking for $27 million this year.
We anticipate doing that or more.
Outstanding. Terrific cause. We know the Red Sox have been involved now. Was it 4 or 5 years now?
This is the 5th year of the Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation. And, you know, when we made this relationship, we were a $15 million event. And the Red Sox Foundation, the Red Sox team obviously has done a lot to put our name out there and get more and more people interested in riding their bike for Dana-Farber and Jimmy Fun.
Now, the longest you can ride is if you start in Sturbridge, right?
That's correct, as far as 192 miles.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Wow. You can choose between 8 different routes ranging from 47 to 192.
Yeah, that 47
wow.
is our new route. It's our new growth method. You know, we're trying to get Jerry and his whole Rem Dog Nation in there. You know, you can be in and out in about 2.5 hours. You know, so we got 350 people in that, but the bulk of them are going to Provincetown.
Do you have any 1-mile routes at all available?
At a certain minimum.
Okay. Joy Gloss drives one deep and far and gone. That is crushed to left center field, and it gets the Toronto Blue Jays on the board. His 12th home run of the year. And it's a 3-1 Red Sox lead now.
Well, we mentioned Daisuke gave up 3 home runs in his last outing against the Tigers, and Gloss really just missed a home run in his first at bat, was thrown out at second base, but no doubt about this one. He gets the fastball from Matsuzaka. It's supposed to be away, but it stays middle in. You saw Varitek set up on the outside corner. That ball stayed middle in, and Troy Gloss did not miss it.
In a long time. It's his first home run in his last 72 plate appearances for a home run hitter. But Gloss has one here, and it's 3-1 Red Sox as Lyle Overbay stands in.
Now, as usual, when we get close to the Pan Mass Challenge, we have Wally wear his helmet up here in the booth. And, of course, will he be in the race again this year?
Wally's riding his 5th PMC, firmly attached, I think, and perhaps the best bird seat of all, behind Stacy Lucchino.
Very nice. I like Wally's helmet. That looks like it's grown over the years, too.
Safety is a major concern.
It is.
Got to wear a helmet in the PMC.
It looks terrific. I know he trains a lot to get ready for it as Overbay lifts one out towards the dirt of the track. And it's pulled in by Chris for out number 1 of the inning. Visiting with Billy Starr.
As the Red Sox Team 9 still together as a Team 9?
Team 9's grown considerably. There's some 60 people signed up as part of Team 9. I believe they have a $300,000 goal. That's tremendous. And the cachet of being part of Team 9, I know they make their own team jersey. It gets increasingly stylish every year. That's one of the great things about biking. You can blow a lot of money on fashion. That's what you guys are all about, isn't it?
He is. I'm not.
Yeah. Now, players' wives, how many of them are involved again this year? I know it's grown over the years, too.
It's Tiffany, Dawn, Shonda, and Stacy Lucchino.
Very nice.
Yep.
To the left field. This is hit high and deep. Aaron Hill sending it high off the wall, and Coco Chris plays the carom. A double for Hill, but all these balls been hit high in the inning.
Yeah, and again, you know, we talk about location so important for Daisuke. You saw the mislocation on the Gloss home run, and now this breaking ball just stays right out over the plate, and Hill, who has been hot in this series, jumps all over it. Again, you see Varitek set up away, but ball stays in, and that results in a ball off the wall.
So double with one down. Greg Zahn coming up. But I noticed a lot of the bicyclists coming onto the field here as part of the big pregame ceremony tonight.
There were 35 cancer survivors representing over 200 cancer survivors who will be riding in this year's event, and probably another 200 who are volunteering. So it's very palpable for all of us who participate. A statement of what people can do with their lives upon having a diagnosis of cancer, and obviously these people are making a very strong statement of what is possible as children and adult cancer rates and cure rates move forward. Looking at the picture now, I mean, these people look great.
Well, the next great day will be the day we're at Fenway and that check is handed over to the Jimmy Fund.
That'll be a great day, and I hope we're all here for the day that we said this is over.
27 million, right? You want this year?
27 is the goal. We have a habit of beating goal, and always more, always bigger.
You're the founder of the Pan Mass Challenge. What is it, 27, 28 years now it's been going?
Our 28th year.
It's unbelievable. How did it start for you, man? Where did it begin for you?
I was 2 years old.
And you're now
I had
29.
I had this epiphany. You know, I'd lost my mother, uncle, and cousin to cancer in the 70s, and it rocked my life and changed it very dramatically. And I really, truly felt the need to do something. It was never a business plan, but it always moved forward. And I think I was able to demonstrate for the people who stayed with us, and the fidelity of this event is so strong that at this point, 28 years, the average years in is something like almost 5. So for every first-year rider, there's somebody who's there 8 or 9 years. And, you know, compared to Red Sox Nation, the fidelity is just remarkable. They don't leave. They understand the mission. They understand this is, at this point, a multi-generational effort. It's going to take all of us. Red Sox Foundation, and whether you ride, walk, swim, bike, it's not critical.
From third comes Lowell, and he takes care of out number 2.
But the fact is that you all take part, and we found a very dynamic formula that works for those of us who ride bikes, and we won't be hemmed in anymore by the word biking or biking 200 miles. Jerry, we were joking about it before, but you know, we have people riding from cross country, we have people riding from Canada, and we have people who are, we call our virtual rider program. Last year did over $1 million. They're not necessarily riding on PMC weekend. They may be in a seat, but they're contributing through the PMC program. And quite frankly, when it's all said and done, the PMC will be over 50% of the Jimmy Fund's fundraising revenue this year.
Yeah, the #1 fundraiser. I didn't realize that. That's terrific. And 36 different states, I understand, involved, represented as part of the PMC Challenge, too.
That's correct. Probably over a dozen different countries.
Wow.
People coming in from as far as Zimbabwe and Singapore, Virgin Islands, all over Western Europe. It's tremendous. And we actually tallied up last year of almost 160,000 checks. We had checks from over 100 different countries. So I think it says to the point that never mind who you know, but cancer is a global concern. And with 10,000 people getting diagnosed per day, this is a serious business that has to be changed and eradicated.
Well, congratulations to you for making this effort and putting all this stuff together, and it's incredible the amount of money you've raised and what you've done to organize this. I mean, just these numbers you're talking about and how many people are involved and from all these different countries, it's remarkable.
Thank you very much. I got a great organization, and obviously at this point, you know, I may be out front, but I can't do without a lot of people, and whether it's the Red Sox's sponsors or over 200 in-kind people or my professional staff or the volunteer head staff, it's unbelievable. We have 2,500 volunteers on the weekend itself. So, you know, 2 to 1, 5,000 riders, 2,500 volunteers, that's 4-star, 4-season service, you know, and we work towards that end because we want to validate the effort and make these people feel special, but it's not hard. People turn out now. It's kind of gotten like the Boston Marathon in terms of riding through the towns.
John McDonald strikes out. Billy Starr, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much, Jerry.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
players to win a Rookie of the Year award. We'll have the answer for you a little bit later as we move along to the last half of the fourth inning. And Mike Lowell leads it off against Dustin McGowan. 3-1 Red Sox on top as the Blue Jays get a run back on the home run by Troy Glaus in the top half of this inning. Lowell grounded out to first base. First time up. 0 for 1 tonight.
Couple of birthday wishes. First of all, to Jim McCormick, who is enjoying a birthday today. He is a brother of a high-ranking official with the Red Sox who does not want to be named. We know who it is, Don. But happy birthday to Jim.
Lines it. Foul down the left field line. What else you got?
And also happy 54th birthday to Mike Rollins of Southwick, Massachusetts, from his wife Donna and his daughter Ariel. So happy birthday, Mike. Happy 54th. That 54, that's a good age to be. If you can't be 55, you might as well be 54. You know what I mean?
Well, grounds it foul. Hangs it 2-2.
It's amazing that Pan Mass Challenge, how much money they do raise. I didn't realize that 50% of the money that gets to the Jimmy Fund every year comes from the Pan Mass. That's a huge amount of money.
#1 fundraising effort. They had $26 million last year. They had 4,270 riders. This year, more than 5,000 riders, and their goal, really set in between innings, should surpass the 27 million mark, and that is their goal this season. That is enormous. The fundraising minimum is between 1,000 and 3,600, depending upon the route chosen. Roll hits it high in the air to left as Reed Johnson is back there, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Charlie Moore's Summer of Fun continues tomorrow night at 8 o'clock when Charlie heads to Lake Winnipesaukee. Get ready for big summertime Sally's and Larry's, plus a special look at the brand new Brigham's ice cream flavor, Man Fisherman Mud. That's Charlie Moore tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
I'm confused about a couple of things.
Yeah, so am I.
First of all, he heads to Lake Winnipesaukee. He lives on Lake Winnipesaukee. So
no, I don't know. See, I don't know where Charlie lives.
Sally's and Larry's I know a little bit about.
What is that?
Sally's are smallmouth bass, and the Larry's are largemouth bass.
Aren't you, Kurt Gowdy?
Yeah. Only because I fished with them. That's how I know.
Oh, you know that?
Yeah. I've only fished with them once. But
so, you know, Don, I'm trying to do the best in reading a promo, and I read what it says. And it says, tomorrow night at 8, Charlie heads to Lake Winnipesaukee. Now, I don't know that Charlie lives on Lake Winnipesaukee.
Oh, no. I was just saying, no, the whole thing is he's saying he's heading there like he's traveling a great distance to get there. And my point was that he lives there.
I know that. But I didn't know that. No. Maybe he goes from one lake to the other end.
It's a huge lake.
Then he would have to travel with it.
Absolutely the case.
So, but good luck with your Sally's and Larry's. And
Jason Varitek, who struck out his first time up, is behind in the count 1-2. Back to the mound, McGowan. 2 down. It's time for a game break, and Tom Caron, TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Back here at Fenway Park, Red Sox on top 3-1 in the last half of the fourth inning with 2 down. Kinski, the batter. Popped to short first time up as he takes strike 1 from Dustin McGowan. Field set up straight away. And Eric Hinske has 3 home runs this season for the Red Sox. Fouls it off and is down 1-2. McGowan operating still in that 94, 95 mile per hour fastball range.
Got good stuff, Don. Good fastball, a lot of movement on it. Good curveball, good changeup. We have not seen a lot of him. He mentioned only a couple of times out of the bullpen, and for I think a total of 2 innings total. So first time we've seen him as a starting pitcher.
Outside 2-2 to Eric Hinske. First round draft choice by Toronto, 33rd overall back in 2000. First year in the big leagues, or part of, was 2005, and he got him 13 games out of the pen. Former teammate of Eric Hinske's as they battle each other. Of course, Hinske coming over from the Jays. And he was the former Rookie of the Year award winner. J.P. Ricciardi, general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. Injuries getting to the Blue Jays once again this season. Finishing ahead of the Red Sox last season, the American League East. They finished second and behind the Yankees. This was a goal of theirs last year, but certainly they had higher hopes this year.
Kind of funny, I ran into him up here in the press area prior to starting the ball games with his 2 sons, and his 2 boys of course live in this area, and they obviously watch a lot of Red Sox games. And I said, well guys, I said, obviously you'll root against us every night, right? He said, absolutely.
The Blue Jays have had a lot more money to work with over the last couple of years. You can spend it, but you have to try to keep the guys healthy, and that's been a problem. Money can take care of only so much, and that has been the biggest case for A.J. Burnett. The biggest signing, along with B.J. Ryan, really, as far as the pitching goes. And Burnett, when healthy, has been very good, but has spent most of his time in a Blue Jays uniform on the disabled list, as he currently is. B.J. Ryan lost virtually for the season for Toronto, their fine closer. Payoff pitch to Hinske, and it's driven now towards deep right center field. Does it have enough? It's back and gone. Into the bullpen. Hinske is homered for the 4th time this year, and the Red Sox jump on top 4-1.
Hinske has seen a lot of off-speed pitches in his first 2 at-bats. I think this might have been the changeup from McGowan. No, maybe not. Looks like more of a slider, and Hinske down and puts it for the home run. Picks up number 4 on the season.
So the home run coming with 2 outs in the inning. And here's Julio Lugo. Takes strike 1 from McGowan.
I mentioned McGowan came into this game only allowing 4 home runs in 71 2/3 innings. 2 tonight. 1 to Big Papi, 1 to Eric Hinske.
First home run for Hinske since the 26th of June at Seattle. Total of 21 at bats in between home runs for Hinske.
Always nice to do it too against your former club.
That was one of the more amazing things, I think, when we returned to Toronto, and the number of boos that Eric Hinske got. For a guy who was a great guy and seemed to leave Toronto on very bad terms, it turned out, at least in the fans' way of thinking. A guy won the Rookie of the Year there, and moved around. It was kind of surprising.
You don't hear that much either from the Toronto fans. It's quite surprising.
A 1-2. Lugo reaching out, protecting the plate, fouling it off.
As we were not up there, we don't know what happened up there or what might have been said after he left, but he's been nothing but a model citizen here with the Red Sox.
does not have the chance to play very often. You don't hear very much from him as far as not getting playing time. He's been a terrific role player. And tonight has his 4th home run of the season. Line hit nicely by McDonald. The throw is going to be close, but not in time.
I was watching the third base umpire. I thought he put his arm up, that he called him out on the catch of the line drive, but apparently not.
Really picked by McDonald, fully outstretched.
Traps it on one hop, tries to make the throw to first base. Lugo too much speed, and Lugo now 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, a milestone for Julio Lugo. A 2-hit night and the 1,000th career hit. Julio Lugo, after singling in the 3rd, he's got an infield hit here in the 4th.
Looked like Zahn was jumping out, like that might have been a pitch out, or supposed to be a pitch out. Watch Zahn as he kind of pops out here. But the ball ends up being over the plate but low. I don't know if a pitch out was called or not, but it certainly appeared by his actions that it was.
Lugo takes off. They pitch out this time, and the throw is not going to be in time. What a tremendous jump. Pitch out doesn't matter. He steals second.
No, it took forever to develop. It really did. And Lugo, no problem stealing second base. Kind of a high leg kick. You can see Zahn kind of running up to try to get the ball. And then the throw not in time. And that puts Coco in a pretty good hitter spot. A 2-ball, no strike count.
There's a strike, 2-1 to Crisp. Two home runs tonight for Boston. David Ortiz, solo shot in the 1st. Home run for Eric Kinski here in the 4th. Solo home run of his own. And a 4-1 Red Sox lead, trying to add on to it with Julio Lugo at second base and 2 down. Inside, it's 3-1 now to Coco Crisp. Full count.
Hit his count again, but instead of the fastball, a changeup from McGowan. Coco sitting all over fastball, doesn't get it.
Ball 4, he walks in. Second walk given up by McGowan. He had intentionally walked Ramirez in the 3rd. Brad Arnsberg headed out there, the pitching coach. And it's 1st and 2nd now, 2 down.
If you're a fan of The Simpsons, don't miss tomorrow's Sunday Boston Globe. Inside every newspaper, you'll find a coupon good for a free set of The Simpsons movie trading card. For more details, be sure to check out the Globe tomorrow, July the 15th.
Wally Bell out to break up the conference on the mound with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox have Julio Lugo At second base when he gets back there, and Coco Crisp at first base. And Dustin Pedroia coming up. Dustin has grounded out to third base and grounded out to first. He's 0 for 2 tonight. '80th pitch of the game for Dustin McGowan. That's a strike to Pedroia. He's now 4 for his last 22. Tonight marks the 11th meeting of the season for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays of 18 games they'll play. Boston with a 6-4 advantage so far against the Blue Jays. The 4-game winning streak come to an end last night with Toronto taking the game, a 1-run victory 6-5. The 0-1 inside. And Pedroia is the count even 1-1.
We go back to Toronto at the end of September. I was checking my passport the other day.
Yep.
It expires in August.
Oh, no.
So I had to go and reapply for a new one. You know what the waiting period is now?
It's like 6 weeks, isn't
It's
it?
a long time,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you get a passport that's nearly expired and you're going somewhere, get it renewed.
Same thing for me, but I got it done actually before the season, I noticed. You can get it done rushed, though. You just got to pay like $150 or something.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I paid the extra cash to put a rush on. They said it'd still be like 5 weeks.
On the ground to third. Bloss with a nice pick, spins and fires to first, and they get Pedroia. Red Sox strand a pair, but they do get a run on the home run by Hinsky. It's 4-1 Boston.
Benefit at Fenway is tomorrow, July 15th. Join Red Sox players, their wives for an on-field barbecue, autograph session, a live auction for one-of-a-kind items, and much more. Proceeds will benefit the Red Sox Foundation's Red Sox Scholars Program and the DSS Kids Fund. And your hosts, comedian Mike O'Malley and Nesson's Tina Zabasio. Get your tickets right now by sending an email to picnic@redsox.com or call 617-226-6002.
Top half of the 5th inning, and it's Vernon Wells leading it off for Toronto. A 4-1 Red Sox lead. Wells with a double in the 1st inning, grounded out to 3rd base in the 3rd inning. The pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. And 72 pitches for Daisuke Matsuzaka through 4+ innings. The only run, the home run by Troy Glaus to lead off last inning for Toronto. And strike, and it's 1-2 to Vernon Wells. Popped up. Youkilis and Varitek, and it's Youkilis who makes the catch. Check out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Who are the 3 Japanese-born players to win Rookie of the Year awards? Hideo Nomo did it in 1995, Kaz Sasaki in 2000, and Ichiro in 2001. Hideki Matsui lost out to Angel Baroa in 2003. Mr. Baroa really never had a season like he did in his first year with Kansas City. And that year, Hideki Matsui very well should have won that award. But there are many who feel like these guys come over from Japan having played many professional seasons. They're older men, and perhaps they don't belong in the category Rookie of the Year, even though they are a first-year major leaguer.
Yeah, I think they are rookies.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I mean, totally different baseball, different league, different country. To me, I think they are rookies.
Well, we got a couple of shots here with Daisuke Matsuzaka and Hideki Okajima to have another. This one lined into left field. Reed Johnson over his Manning on the slide to grab it and get it back in quickly. Nice play by Ramirez.
Manny going into the slide to keep that ball from getting to the left field wall and holding Reed Johnson to the single. Looked like a goaltender sliding across the ice, across the net, to make a save, didn't he?
Yeah.
As we get close to hockey season. Actually, not that close, but
You got the development stuff going on. Don Sweeney told us a little bit about it the other night. Well, now 1 on. Alex Rios, the batters, popped to second and walk. League leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Category batting average against the Red Sox among active players, and Alex Rios top of the list at .361.
come on.
Three and one. With 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning, Reed Johnson held on at first base by Kevin Youkilis. On the ground to third. Lowell to second for 1 on to first base. Double play. It ends the top of the 5th. We're halfway through this one. It's a 4-1 Red Sox lead. Johnny Pesky request.
How you doing, Johnny? You see that, Johnny?
David Ortiz leading it off here in the bottom of the 5th. Ortiz with 2 hits. He homered in the first, double in the 3rd inning. The strike over the inside corner, and it's 2-1 now to Big Papi. And Ramirez, and then Kevin Youkilis here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Boston. One's it too far inside, 3-1. These are the 2 hits tonight. Now 12 for his last 24. Grounds a foul. The payoff pitch to David Ortiz. Hopped up. Foul ground. Zahn with a long run. Makes the catch over by his dugout. That'd go a long way, and he got there in a hurry for the first out of the inning.
Well, there's a great new look to the Red Sox Nation program in 2007. It has new rewards, gifts, and unique ticket opportunities. And one of those unique ticket opportunities is coming up a week from today. Right somewhere in this area you'll be sitting in Tom Werner's seats if you are a member of Red Sox Nation. If you are not a member, you can still become one and still have time to win those tickets. It's a week from Saturday. It's a nationally televised game on Fox, and it's against the Chicago White Sox. So sign up, and you still have a chance to win those seats for next Saturday. Not bad seats.
One down for Manning. And he struck out looking in the 1st inning, was walked intentionally in the 3rd inning. These are the White Sox. First time the Red Sox have seen the White Sox in 2007. Only team that they have not yet played in the American League.
The winners will be announced, I would say, sometime probably around Wednesday of next week. It's what, the 3rd time we've given away tickets?
Yes, I think so.
As interim president and before the coup when the impeachment comes.
Swing and a miss. And he strikes out 2nd time. And he struck out tonight. 3rd K for McGowan. 2 down.
I was thinking, Don, about some of the duties that I'd like to get done before they get the heave-ho. Connecticut is on my mind. And I'll tell you why. Because Connecticut is, they say, split between Red Sox Nation.
Yeah.
It's time to infiltrate, and I already have people embedded in Yankee territory in Connecticut. So if we can draw some Red Sox Nation members from that south section, or west section, I should say, of Connecticut, that would be a major accomplishment. Because they don't like us. And get to a certain line there in Connecticut,
and you run right into Yankee territory.
You're right into Yankee territory. Yeah. So I've got people embedded in Yankee territory. I was thinking.
This started a long time ago.
Actually, I thought of it last night. And on the way home,
you quickly got them embedded?
I did. I called a couple of my friends who live in Connecticut, and I said, get yourself embedded in Yankee territory and get Red Sox Nation members to sign up.
That was quick work.
I was thinking
of going. Yeah, let's see how that goes.
I mean, let's just say, for example, you're a Yankee fan and you have a chance to win 4 free tickets right near the dugout.
Right.
They're going to change stripes in a hurry, right?
Dump them. Well, you would think so. You know, I think that they would be not honest about coming here. Three and one. Count to Kevin Youkilis with 2 outs.
I'm trying to get Mike Narachi's father on board.
That might be difficult. He's been a Yankee fan, I think, for a very long time.
It's okay. Never underestimate the power of Red Sox Nation. I bet they're watching right now from the Weston Red House out there at Sonny McLean's in L.A. I bet they got a large group watching this game tonight. Saturday night. Beautiful.
Nicholas grounds it foul, still 3 and 2. You know if the list has grown yet as far as candidates for Red Sox Nation? Have we seen another list? I know we saw an initial list.
Nah, probably I imagine some new list. Well, I mean, anybody can sign up, right? So the list is probably enormous.
By now, I would think it wouldn't. Just a couple of days. Strike 3 call. Youkilis disagrees. Back-to-back strikeouts for McGowan. And the Red Sox are gone in the 5th. It's 4-1. Red Sox lead after 5.
Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame show with Tom Caron and Jim Rice live from Red Dogs on Yankee Way. Josh Beckett makes his first start since his All-Star game win. Plus the Mike FM Plays of the Week, and Emily Benjamin will have the latest from the Red Sox clubhouse. That's the pregame show tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It's all live in HD, and it's only on NESN.
4-1. The Red Sox on top as Frank Thomas leads it off here in the top half of the 6th inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka has thrown 82 pitches. As Thomas 0 for 2 tonight has popped out to second base and fly to center.
Well, Daisuke back in the windup the last couple of innings. Went to that set position with nobody on base. Probably didn't feel comfortable out of the windup. Now back to the windup.
As he falls behind 3-0. There's a strike. 3-1 to Frank Thomas. He'll be followed by Troy Gloss and Lyle Overbay. They're in the top half of the 6th inning for the Jays. Swing and a miss. Making ball 3-2.
Kind of a dangerous spot there for Daisuke. That cut fastball stayed upstairs, but no contact from Frank Thomas.
Thomas drives it to left. Manny headed back. This will be off the scoreboard. Manny plays to Karen quickly. Thomas this time getting to second base as he gets himself a double. Scraping the wall out there in left field off the scoreboard to begin things here in the 6th inning.
Almost a one-handed swing here by Frank Thomas. Again, looks like the cut fastball, a slider, reaches out and drops it right at the bottom of the wall. Manny playing it on one hop, but Thomas in with a double. That's the first hit that Frank has had against Daisuke. He was 0 for 4 early this season, 0 for 2 tonight.
There's Troy Gloss, singled in the 2nd inning, homered in the 4th inning. A 2 for 2 night for Gloss. Gloss making his major league debut back in 1998. He made his first start July 31st. It was against the Red Sox as a third baseman for the Angels. Picked up his first hit in RBI in his first at bat. An RBI double off Brett Saberhagen in the 2nd inning. Remember that game back in 1998. Inside 2-1.
Daisuke keeps missing location with Troy Gloss at the plate. You know, a couple of times here, Varitek has wanted the fastball away, but it stayed inside. That one not hittable. The one before was, but Gloss took it. Actually, that's how he got his home run back in the 4th inning.
We'll top that time 2-2. Lyle Overbay waiting on deck. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Leadoff double for Frank Thomas. Matsuzaka threw 90 pitches in his 5-inning effort last time out at Detroit. And surpassed that tonight. He has pitched 92. And is backing out again as Gloss. And Varitek out to talk to Matsuzaka.
Tonight, following Red Sox coverage, stay with NESN for Sports Desk with Catherine Tappan, presented by FW Webb. That's the home of Frank Webb's Bat Centers. The topics tonight: the NBA suspends 2 big names, and see how Phil Mickelson miraculously took the lead in the Scottish Open. That's Sports Desk with Catherine Tappan tonight, following Sox coverage live in HD only on NESN.
Frank Thomas at second base, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning, and Gloss waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Lined a fair ball down the left field line into the corner. Scoring from second base will be Frank Thomas to second. With an RBI double goes Troy Gloss. What a night for Gloss. Is 3 for 3. And stands at second base with an RBI. It's now 4-2 Boston.
Yeah, Daisuke has not made good pitches tonight to Troy Gloss. Remember, he missed his location, and Gloss took him for a home run in the 4th inning. And now the breaking ball just hangs out over the plate in a topspin line drive right down that third base line. Actually, lucky that ball wasn't hit out of the ballpark. Frank Thomas coming around third, no problem scoring, and it's a 2-run game.
action for the first time in the Red Sox pen as Manny Del Carmen is up. Kyle Overbay takes ball one. Overbay tonight walked in the second inning, flied out to center field in the fourth inning. And ahead of the count now, 2-0. Aaron Hill waiting on deck. Back-to-back doubles to begin things here for the Blue Jays in the top half of the sixth inning. Thomas, then Gloss. And it's a two-run game now. Overbay with a big swing and a miss. 2-1.
Like a splitter that time from Daisuke. Not too many tonight from Matsuzaka. Not too many splitters or changeups. Well, maybe that was not the splitter. It looked like more of a slider.
Matsuzaka has struck out only 2 so far tonight. Had Reed Johnson in the third inning, John McDonald in the fourth inning. There's a strike. 2-2 now to Overbay. Full count to Lyle Overbay. Well, while he has struck out 2, he has walked 2, and that includes Overbay. Walked him in the second inning. The other walked Alex Rios in the third. A full count to Overbay. First base is open as Troy Glaus stands at second with nobody out. On the ground foul outside of first base. Daisuke Matsuzaka touched for a home run tonight by Troy Glaus in the fourth inning. Daisuke last time out giving up 3 home runs. And a start for the first time in his career. That was against the Tigers in the final start of the first half for him. Overbay chops it right side. Youkilis on the backhand. Matsuzaka will cover on the out. But Glaus on to third base with now 1 out of the inning. So 1 down, and it brings up Aaron Hill, who was 2 for 2 tonight. A single to center field in the second, a double to center field in the fourth inning.
Well, you mentioned, Don, it has not been a big strikeout night for Daisuke. This would be a good time for one with that man at third and only the 1 out.
Amazing as this one gets away, but fortunately for the Red Sox, knocked down by Wally Bell, the umpire. Varitek turning around, was right in behind him.
Wally Bell has been a target tonight. He's been hit 3 or 4 times already in this game. Cut fastball that gets trapped by Varitek. It just rolls up against Wally Bell's right knee.
Well, he's been hit by a couple of foul tips. There's the plate tonight. Strike, yeah, it's 1-1.
Red Sox are doing something a little bit unusual. The infield is not in, but they are in far enough to hold Glaus at third base. You see the location here of Lugo and Pedroia. Just maybe a step in, 2 steps in from double play depth. And of course, by seeing that, that should hold Glaus at third base on a ground ball.
To deep left. into the monster seats, a 2-run shot to tie the game for Aaron Hill. His 3rd hit of the night, 10th home run of the season. And we're tied at 4.
And this has become a little bit similar to Daisuke's last outing, where he's had trouble locating his pitches. And again, right over the middle of the plate, knee high to Hill, and Hill with the home run. So both home runs have been on fastballs from Matsuzaka. And the lead is gone.
Now Greg Zahn, who's 0 for 2. Red Sox had a 4-0 advantage. Check that, a 3-0 advantage. And then Blue Jays grabbed a run in the 4th. But it's a 4-4 game now. Pitch inside. Yeah, it's 2-0 to Zahn. So a 3-hit night for Troy Glass, a 3-hit night for Aaron Hill. They've combined for 6 of the 9 Toronto hits off Daisuke Matsuzaka. And none bigger than the 2-run home run by Aaron Hill that has tied the game. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Two and 2 to Zahn. Daisuke with the 2 home runs allowed tonight. So a total of 14 home runs on the season. The center field, crisp coming on. Coco over the slide to make the grab for the 2nd out of the inning.
That was Zahn at the plate. Coco not playing all that deep in center field and is able to make the play, charging in with the slide. To a location of Coco Crisp, ball right directly at him. And for him, that's a pretty easy play.
So 2 down, 3 runs in, and John McDonald the batter. That's 5 home runs allowed by Daisuke in his last 2 outings, after giving up only 4 in his 7 previous outings. Running into some pretty good offenses in the Tigers last time and the Jays tonight. I mentioned in his first 2 starts against Toronto, combining to allow only 3 earned runs, and tonight in this outing alone giving up 4 so far with 2 outs in the top half of the 6th inning. On the ground left side, Lugo to the backhand, plants and throws in time. Nicely picked by Youkilis for the out that ends the inning, but the damage done. Toronto scores 3 times. We're tied at 4 after 5.5.
hospitals throughout New England. It's another reason to root for the Red Sox and another reason to feel good about Hood.
4-4 ball game here in the last half of the 6th inning. Toronto scoring 3 times in the top half of the inning. And it's Lowell, Varitek, and Hinsky in the inning. This will be pitch number 100 of the night for Dustin McGowan, who's handled Lowell twice tonight. Mike is grounded out to first base and fly to left, 0 for 2. There is action behind McGowan as he begins things here in the 6th inning. Brian Tallett, left-hander. To right center, in for a hit. So Lowell leads off the bottom of the 6th inning with a base hit, his first hit of the night.
Mike Lowell jumps on the breaking ball here from McGowan and takes it to center field for the leadoff hit. So the Red Sox trying to come right back and get some points of their own.
Lowell at first base with Jason Varitek, who's 0 for 2. Varitek striking out swinging in the 2nd inning, grounding back to the mound in the 4th. Lowell took off, stopped, and then continues. Yes. Varitek fouls it off to the left.
And once again, we mentioned that Red Sox do hit and run quite a bit with Jason Varitek. Almost too good a jump by Mike Lowell as he did hesitate, but Varitek fouls it off. I think of everybody in the team, I think the most hit and runs we've seen this season have been with Jason Varitek, and it seems like more than in the past Tito Francona has used that play.
Driven to deep right field for Varitek. Back is Rios looking up. That's a 2-run shot for the captain, his 9th of the year, and the Red Sox take a 6-4 lead.
Well, there was no question about that one as soon as it left the bat from Varitek. A hit and run in the first play. On the next pitch, a long home run by Jason Varitek. Number 9 on the season.
Pitching change from Fenway Park. The last batter McGowan would face took him deep, and it's a 6-4 Red Sox lead.
To break the tie, the base hit by Lowell and a monster home run by Jason Varitek on a fastball. And here it is. After the hit and run attempt, the fastball of Varitek, and he just absolutely crushed that ball. I think that was up, if I'm not mistaken, in the bleacher area. Yeah, it did. And that ball hit a long way. That's 420 out to that triangle, so that ball has to be somewhere, what, 435, 440?
Sure. The ball crushed by Varitek, 9th home run of the year. 3rd home run off McGowan tonight. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. If you've driven a Ford lately, Brian Talent into the game.
He worked a couple of nights ago against the Red Sox. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of hits and a couple of earned runs. His 29th appearance of the season.
Kinski 1 for 2 tonight, has 1 of the 3 Boston home runs. And Hinske strikes out this time. So Talent strikes out first batter that he faces.
A lot of breaking balls that time from Talent to Hinske. I was looking at I was watching after the strikeout, they did not throw the ball around.
Right back to the pitcher.
And I was kind of wondering if it was the 3rd strike.
So 1 down. Here is Julio Lugo's 2 for 2 tonight. He was singled to left and an infield hit to short, and picked up his career 1,000th hit tonight. His player profile brought to you by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network.
Well, McGowan, who was stingy all year with home runs, giving up 3 in this game. Ortiz, Hinske, and of course the last one, the Varitek.
Up and away, a ball and a strike to Julio Lugo. First home run for Varitek since June 24th at San Diego off Scott Linebrink. 48 at bats in between home runs for Varitek. Bunt try with Ross at deep third and an infield hit. Bunt single for Julio Lugo, his 3rd hit of the night.
Julio Lugo caught Troy Glass deep at 3rd base, and he just drops a perfect bunt down that 3rd base line, and with his speed and as deep as Glass was, no chance at all. Troy backing up right there, surprised by the bunt attempt, and no play on Lugo. So Lugo 3 for 3 in the game tonight.
One out, one on. And Coco Crisp, the batter. Coco grounded out in the 1st inning. He tripled to drive in a run in the 3rd inning and then walked in the 4th. Well, 110 pitches for Daisuke Matsuzaka through 6. Manny Del Carmen continuing to throw in the pen. Red Sox came into this inning in a 4-4 tie. They now have a 6-4 lead. And have it lined up here pitching wise with Del Carmen ready to go in the 7th. Well, started on a single by Mike Lowell to begin the inning. The 2-run shot by Jason Varitek. Kinski striking out, and now Lugo, the bunt single, stands at first with 1 down. And a ball in the dirt, 3-0. More action in the Jays pen. Brian Wolf is up for Toronto. Five-plus innings from Dustin McGowan, the starter for John Gibbons tonight. All 6 runs charged to the starter. On 8 hits, he walked 2, 1 intentionally, and struck out 4. Now on the hook as McGowan came into tonight's game with a 5-4 record. His 13th start of the year. A strike and a full count now to Crisp. Dustin Pedroia waiting on deck. The Red Sox batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now on top 6-4.
Lugo's going on the 3-2 count. You want to absolutely make sure the pitcher throws home. Became a stare down, didn't it, between Talent and Lugo at first base.
There goes Lugo, and there's ball 4.
Stay tuned after the game for WB Mason's Extra Innings and Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra. Tom Caron and Jim Rice will have Daisuke Matsuzaka's live post-game press conference and highlights from around the league, including the Yankees and Devil Rays. It's all right after the game, live in HD, and it's only on NESN.
Tomorrow, the post-game show is going to be live from Yawkey Way after the ball game tomorrow. And the final game of the series between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. As Dustin Pedroia bats with runners at first and second, 1 down in the inning. And out to the mound is Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach.
Well, this pitch sequence is brought to you by Commonwealth Health Connected. Cover your bases, connect to health. Daisuke seemed like every time he made a mistake tonight, they made him pay for it. Right there, Troy Glass. Fastball supposed to be away. It stays inside. A breaking ball that stays inside, and he rifles down the line. And then he wanted the fastball into Hill, but the ball is down out over the plate. So when he made a mistake, the Blue Jay hitters did not miss it.
1-0 the count to Dustin Pedroia with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lugo at second, Crisp at first. There's a strike, 1-1.
See Coco Crisp at first base. He's got his eye on Lugo because he wants to make sure if Lugo goes, he also goes. You got a base stealer ahead of you. You just have to be always aware of that. You don't want to get stuck at first base and leave that double play in order.
Well, Lugo 23 thefts, Crisp with 16. And speed on the base pass for the Red Sox here with 1 down in the 6th. Center field, a base hit. Around from second base comes Lugo. The throw goes to short, and it's a 7-4 Red Sox lead.
Now Pedroia, who's been in a bit of a mini slump, picks up the base hit and drives in his 26th run of the year. Slider, inside out swing, drops it into center field. So the tie did not last long as the Red Sox bounce right back here in the bottom of the 6th.
So Crisp at second now, Pedroia at first, and David Ortiz the batter. Nick Poppy with a home run in the first inning, got the scoring started tonight. His 15th home run of the year. Then he doubled in the third inning, fouled out the catcher Greg Zahn in the fifth. Runners go as Ortiz backs out and the double steal.
Keep the pressure on. Talent having all kind of problems. As a base stealer, you love to run with left-handers on the mound when you're at second base. And what a great jump here. Almost a running lead by Coco Crisp. And Pedroia following into second base. They got lefty against lefty. They're going to walk Ortiz and probably go for the right-hander against Manny Ramirez.
The second intentional walk of the game served up by Toronto pitching, as Manny Ramirez was intentionally walked in the third. John Gibbons makes his way out to the mound to make the pitching change. Brian Wolf will be coming on for Toronto, now 7-4 Boston. The Dunkin' Donuts musical montage from Fenway Park, where the Red Sox have a 7-4 lead with one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. As Brian Talent is gone, Brian Wolf into the game for Toronto, their third pitcher of the night.
12th appearance for Wolf on the season. He's also worked in this series against the Red Sox. That was a couple of days ago, 2/3 of an inning. No hits and no runs allowed. He did have a strikeout.
So Talent went a third of an inning and ends up giving up 2 hits. So far been charged with 1 run. He's responsible for all the runners on. He walked 2 and struck out a batter. Well, the bases are filled with Red Sox for Manny Ramirez. Crisp at third, Pedroia at second base, and Ortiz at first with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the sixth inning. Towards right center. Wells will move over and make the catch on the run. Tagging at third and scoring is Crisp, and it's an 8-4 Red Sox lead. Manny had 3 RBIs in the first game of the series, 3 RBIs last night, and picks up an RBI here. The sacrifice fly to right center. 52 RBIs on the season.
Yeah, both David Ortiz and Manny picking it up as far as the RBI go. David with 2 more tonight to give him 56. Manny with the 1 to give him 52.
Youkilis, the 9th member of the Red Sox to bat in the inning, and he takes strike 1 from Wolf. Youkilis is fly to right, reached on the fielder's choice and struck out looking. Gowan on the hook as he looks on from the Toronto dugout. Diving and not getting it is Overbay. Around from second base comes Pedroia. Here comes the throw, and he is safe.
You know, we've mentioned all series how far Overbay plays off that first base line, and even in that position still quite can't come up with the line drive from Youkilis. I mean, normally this would be no contest in a normal position, but it became very close because of where he plays. Pedroia coming around, and he'll score the run for the Red Sox. So they've kind of broken it open here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now Mike Lowell, they got it all started in this inning with a single to center field. Breaking ball getting away, and the count 1-1.
The crowd doesn't like it, but it's just a curveball that didn't curve.
Dustin McGowan started the inning, giving up the single to Lowell, the 2-run home run by Jason Varitek. Time for the Red Sox on top 6-4. They've added 3 more in the inning. It is a 5-run. Bottom of the 6th inning so far. Toronto on their 3rd pitcher of the inning. And a strikeout of Lowell to end the inning. But the Red Sox scored 5 times, take a 9-4 lead to the 7th. NESN is brought to you by New England Dodge Dealers, Coors Light, and by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. 9-4 now. Red Sox on top as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. And a new pitcher on for the Red Sox. It's Manny Del Carmen.
12th appearance for Manny Del Carmen. He has worked 11 2/3, 5 hits allowed, and 2 earned runs. Worked a couple of days ago against the Blue Jays. Pitched an inning, no hits. Did have a strikeout against Toronto.
Well, the Red Sox coming up with 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Daisuke Matsuzaka could pick up his 11th win. Came in at 10-6. In a 6-inning effort, he threw 110 pitches. As Vernon Wells leads it off here for the Jays in the top half of the 7th. On the ground at Lugo. And there's one away. Nice pick at first by Youkilis. The 6 innings, 9 hits, the 4 runs allowed, and 2 home runs in the outing to Troy Gloss and Aaron Hill. He ended up walking 2 and striking out 2 in 110 pitches, 69 of which for strikes. For Daisuke Matsuzaka, chance to pick up win number 11.
The last couple of outings, they have not had many runs for Daisuke, but they got him tonight. And most of them coming after he was going to be out of the game.
Reed Johnson 1 for 3 tonight. As he flied to left in the first, struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, singled his last time up. Grounded foul. Well, they're expecting some weather here tomorrow late afternoon, and hopefully it will not affect Picnic in the Park, which is an enormous event. But should anything change, the Red Sox Foundation has set up a recorded message that will update based on the weather, so you can call to find out what the weather is going to be and what the status of Picnic at the Park will be. There'll be updates tonight and all day Sunday. But as of right now, Picnic in the Park is still on. That's the number, 617-226-6660.
Didn't they have weather issues last year for Picnic in the Park?
It was either last year or 2 years ago, or was actually backed off and made another date afterwards. Swing and a miss. And Del Carmen makes quick work of Reed Johnson. 2 down in the 7th.
Del Carmen now with the 10 strikeouts in 12 innings. High fastball up and into Reed Johnson. Well, hopefully the weather will stay good and it won't be a problem.
Certainly hope so. With fans who cannot attend the Picnic, you can still bid on the amazing one-of-a-kind auction items offered by the Red Sox wives and the players. There are certainly some very special items. You bid on a meet and greet with Jason Varitek. Meet Daisuke and Hideki Okajima before a Red Sox game. Enjoy an all-new electric golf cart, which is signed by all the Red Sox players. We've seen a couple times down by the Red Sox clubhouse. Certainly very nice. And dinner with Curt Schilling and his entire family at Curt Schilling's home. Play Scrabble with Jonathan Papelbon. Play video games with Dustin Pedroia, or invite friends to a pizza party with Mike Lowell. Or you can go hunting with Tim Wakefield and Mike Timlin. So a lot of good items. To place your proxy bid, if you cannot be there and would like to place a bid, please visit redsoxfoundation.org for more information. Or you can email the hardworking folks at the foundation, picnic@redsox.com. And proxy bids must be placed by 5 p.m. tomorrow night. With some great items. Hope the rain stays away tomorrow night. 1-2 the count to Rios. 2 outs in the 7th. Varitek tried to bring it back to the strike zone. 2-2.
I imagine those are some items that'll bring some pretty high prices, I would think.
Really similar to last year, and they certainly did. Mike O'Malley does a great job of running the auction. Swing and a miss. Rios strikes out back-to-back Ks. 7th inning stretch from Fenway. 9-4 Boston. Time for a Sports Desk update with Catherine Tappan. The scoring gets started tonight. David Ortiz with a home run. His 15th of the year as he hit it off the starter Dustin McGowan. Red Sox had a 4-2 lead. Aaron Hill would tie the game 4-4 with a home run. His 10th of the year. Daisuke giving up 2 home runs, but Jason Varitek, the game tied 4-4. It's his 9th home run of the year. The 2-run shot. Red Sox would score 5 times in their half of the 6th inning and enjoy a 9-4 lead as they bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Brian Wolf was able to get the final 2 outs of last inning. Back out there for the 7th. Varitek, Hinsky, and Lugo expected in the inning. Jason has struck out swinging and grounded back to the mound. Then the home run. Gowan went 5+. Started tonight for Toronto, giving up 6 runs. Brian Talent, as Varitek strikes out, charged with 3 runs. And Wolf now 3rd pitcher of the night for Toronto. Well, there are tickets still available for the Police at Fenway Park Saturday, July 28th and Sunday, July 29th. Visit etix.com to purchase tickets today. Part of the Fenway Park concert series over the years. Dave Matthews has been here. Bruce Springsteen and the Rolling Stones, and this year it's the Police.
Jimmy Buffett also.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jimmy Buffett. One down for Eric Hinsky. 1 for 3 tonight, a home run in the 4th inning.
This gave me an idea, Don, for next year. We have a new DVD out of Gyro Ball.
Gyro Ball. We can perform right here at Fenway Park.
Just one song.
That's it.
Sell it out 2 nights in a row.
Jerry, I think it was the
Gyro Ball.
We can just keep playing it all night. Hinsky strikes out. And there's 2 down in the inning. 3 straight strikeouts for Brian Wolf.
I think we'd have more of a rap crowd here for that, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I would agree. This would be like a huge encore too. They'd be all standing, lighters in the air. We leave them hanging for a while, like we weren't coming back. But after about 10-15 minutes, we come back out again, and I'd say, Jerry, I think it was the
Gyro Ball.
Lugo pops it up. Overbay and foul ground makes the catch to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3-7. It's all Gyro Ball.
WB Mason's Extra Innings. Tom Caron and Jim Rice will have Terry Francona's live post-game press conference and highlights from around the league, including the Yankees and Devil Rays. It's all right after the game, live in HD, and it's only on Messon.
Top half of the 8th inning, 9-4. The Red Sox on top. Frank Thomas leading it off. Another inning for Manny Del Carmen. Threw just 10 pitches and got through the 7th. Wells, Johnson, and Rios very quickly went down in order on a ground out and 2 strikeouts. Thomas rips it.
Oh, I thought she made that play. That'd have been a great play. That was a rocket.
She got a glove on it, though, didn't she?
I think she did, yeah. That was smoke. The more I think about the concert, I mean, it's a lock.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
If you're the Red Sox,
I'm going to do just like the Stones and take over the Red Sox clubhouse completely, make it all black.
That's what they did, right? They came in and they just took over the clubhouse, built their own stuff.
They took over the whole stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, we left on a road trip, and we were on our way out the door, and I mean, that stage was enormous that they had here. They took over the whole clubhouse and everything, and
we need a really big stage too.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, but I think we need a really big stage. I mean, like huge with that stuff all over, waterfalls.
I think we better come up with one more song though before, so we have 2.
Why? Let's keep singing this.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there's going to be no encore because
you're not coming back.
No, you know how quickly I get out of here out of games.
Yeah.
Where do you see me after the concert? They'll still be singing Gyro Ball in the ballpark, and I'll be in Weston.
And all of a sudden, the lights will go on. Everybody go, oh.
Well, you can go back if you want.
But that way we kind of keep them hanging, too. Swing and a miss.
I'll tell you what, this is some performance by Manny Del Carmen. He's got 4 outs, and 3 of them by strikeouts. Johnson by a fastball, a changeup to Rios, now a fastball up and away to Frank Thomas.
One down for Troy Gloss. He's been on 3 times, a single, a homer, and a double.
Are we the only voices on that mix?
Yes.
We are.
We're it.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. People are gonna puke at home. But so there's no other there's no other singing on that at all. It's just instrumental and us. We're rapping.
Some question is whether that's actually singing.
No, we're rapping. We're rapping.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Just us.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all about us.
We're huge in Japan, boy. It's off season.
Enormous. In fact, I think we should start the tour there.
I got an idea. It just came to me.
You're full of them tonight. You're on a roll. Down from third comes Lowell. Varitek there too, but Lowell takes over and there's 2 down in the 8th.
How about a concert for just Red Sox Nation and Remdog Nation members?
How about that?
Right?
Very good. There you go.
You got to have your card from both the nations, and you get to come to our concert free to hear our one song. We play 15 times. A night you'll never forget.
I think once we're done with the tour, we're going to have to seriously consider a second song, though. We'll come back with something else. Carmen has retired 5 in a row. 3 strikeouts. Overbay's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Oh, look out.
Ripped back up where it came from and into center field.
That'll shake you up a little bit. Line shot right back at Del Carmen. Just about no reaction time there. Fortunately, it was over his head. He was able to get the glove up, but wow. That'll make the knees quiver a little bit.
Hideki Okajima's up. We had 2 outs here in the 8th inning. A screaming line drive single for Lyle Overbay. Aaron Hill, the batter. He has singled, doubled, and homered. A triple shy of the cycle tonight as he takes the strike.
I think also that when we do have the concert, I'm going to dress like Neil Diamond.
You're going to have to let your chest hair grow a little bit.
That shirt buttoned up to my navel. Black leather pants, tight. Drive those ladies crazy. And that
Strike 3 over the outside corner. Hill is gone. The Jays are gone in the 8th. We might be gone. 9-4 Red Sox. Top time now for the fan of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. And sometimes you have to earn it a little bit. I mean, this was the case this time, as this one to center field on the home run by Varitek actually hit this young fan in the face. But got to credit this guy who got the ball and handed it off to the youngster after he caught it in the nose out there at center field. So
painful, but that takes the edge off a little bit, I guess, getting the souvenir.
Coco Crisp leading it off here in the last half of the 8th inning. Jason Frazier, the new pitcher for Toronto.
First time we've seen him in this series. The 33rd time he's worked this year. A 1-3 record. All those appearances out of the bullpen. He's actually closing games for a while for Toronto when B.J. Ryan was put on the DL. Of course, since that time, Mercado has taken over that role.
Well, they thought he was going to be the guy who was going to be able to handle that, but it did not work out for him. A tough go of it. Mercado's done a very good job since then. After they got the news B.J. Ryan was going to be out. Crisp with an opposite field base hit. Fourth time Coco's been on tonight. 2 hits, 2 walks.
It's been a good night for Coco. Chris on base, as you mentioned, down 4 times. Lugo with 3 hits at the 9 spot. So those 2 guys have been all over the bases tonight. Line drive to the opposite field. That average continues to climb for Coco Chris. 261 to start the game. He's got a 2 for 3 going tonight.
Pedroia 1 for 4 tonight. A single in the 6th inning. Knocked in a run, his 26th RBI of the season. And he takes strike 1 from Jason Frazier. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
I mentioned Coco Chris, but just about a month ago he was hitting .224. He has raised that average now, including the 2 hits tonight, to .265. So he's come a long way in a month. That's with a lot of at bats.
Fouled off to the right. Right-hander up, Jordan DeYoung in the pen. So we talked about what you can expect from the second half. You just mentioned the numbers for Coco Crisp. We have to think Coco Crisp will have a better second half than he had in the first. You have to feel the same way about Julio Lugo, but the number one factor, as you mentioned a couple times, appears to be health. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You got to stay healthy,
especially in the pitching department. You know, I mean, there are sometimes position players can go down and you can survive that. It's hard when some of your rotation goes down. That's hard to replace. And we kind of talked about that the other night. I mean, you would expect offensively that the club will be better. Better weather. Some guys that have had an off first half.
Rios from right puts it away for out number 1.
But the key to any championship deep into the postseason is always pitching. And, the Red Sox had the pitching. It just has to stay healthy. Critical, Kurt Schilling coming back into the rotation. That's a guy the Red Sox haven't had now for a while.
Well, here's Big Papi with 1 down and a runner at first base. Ortiz with a home run back in the first inning, his 15th of the year, a double. Fouled out and was walked intentionally. A couple of RBIs tonight. Strike 1 to Ortiz.
This is another one of those games. Tough to pick top dog in this one, Ortiz, a couple of RBIs, home run, double. You got the big home run from Varitek. Lugo with 3 hits. Coco with a big night.
To right field. Rios hit it back, and he lunges to make the grab. Nice play by Rios. And he robs Ortiz of extra bases.
You know, Rios just continues to get better and better and better, and he's probably not even close to how good he's going to be. He just improves every single year. Got an excellent jump on this line drive by David Ortiz and made it look fairly easy. A good defensive player, a very good offensive player, and getting better.
When it first went out in that direction, I thought for sure it was going to get up over his head. And very quickly back, gathers it, and there's 2 down. Coco still at first base, and here's Manny Ramirez. Well, the last game of the 4-game series. And Josh Beckett will be on the mound for the Red Sox tomorrow, fresh off his win in the All-Star game. Testing his 12-2 record against Jesse Litch, who was 1-3. With a 4.74 going for Toronto. And the Kansas City Royals will be in for 3 beginning on Monday night. Outside 2-1 to Manning. Nicholas waits on deck. The strike evens a count of 2-2. Listen, Frazier, the 4th Toronto pitcher. McGowan, the starter, on the hook, 5+ innings, giving up 6 runs. Brian Talent gave up 3 runs in just a third of an inning. Wolf for an inning and 2/3 did a pretty good job, and now Frazier, after giving up a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th inning, has been able to get Pedroia and Ortiz. A little help from the defense behind him. And Manny hits a 1-hopper to short. It's his second for the force out that ends the inning. We head for the 9th. It's 9-4 Boston. Brought to you by New England Ford Dealers. Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. Nissan. Bacardi, and by Southwest Airlines. Wow, first Red Sox game and their honeymoon.
I turned 40.
He's 41.
He's 41.
Older guy. Pena checks in right field defensively for the Red Sox. Moving from right to left is Hinsky. Manny Ramirez comes out of the game. And into the game on the mound for the Red Sox, Hideki Okajima.
Worked a couple of nights ago against Toronto. Pitched an inning, gave up a couple of hits, did have a strikeout. His 41st appearance of the year. ERA at 0.81.
Great job again tonight by Manny Del Carmen.
Sure was.
2 innings, only gave up 1 hit. The line drive by Overbay. It was interesting to see how he would react after that one right back at him. But he reacted very well as he then went on to strike out Aaron Hill to end the inning. So it's 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 4. And it's Okajima for the 9th with the Red Sox on top by 5 runs.
Last 12 2/3 that Manny Del Carmen has pitched, he's got 13 strikeouts in that span.
Would you agree that it is the combination of better velocity and confidence which appears to be with him very much right now?
Well, success brings confidence. There's no question about that. And, you know, I imagine his confidence level wasn't real high when he was struggling down in the minor leagues. But it's going to be pretty high right now as he continues to get the job done. And his stuff has been excellent.
One and two to Zahn. He strikes out to begin things in the 9th inning.
A lot of strikeouts, 4 for Del Carmen in the 7th and 8th. And now Okajima with the okie dokie for the strikeout against Zahn. That's 39 strikeouts now for Okajima in 44 2/3. And you'd have never guessed in spring training that he would turn out to be a strikeout pitcher.
One down for John McDonald, who's 0 for 3. And takes strike 1.
Come on.
To left field, Hinsky over and under, 2 down.
Stay tuned after the game for Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra with Sean Caron and Jim Rice. Tina Savasio will go one-on-one with Sox manager Terry Francona and Terry's take and preview of Josh Beckett's return to the mound for his first start since after his All-Star game win. It's all right after the game, live in HD, and it's right here on NESN.
2 down. Okajima about to deal with Vernon Wells here in the 9th inning. Red Sox winning the first game of the series, lost last night's game. And a win tonight, and they've taken 2 of the first 3 with the last game of the series tomorrow. Wells had a double in the first. He's 1 for 4 tonight on the top spot in the Toronto order. John Gibbons and the Jays would slide to 11 games back of the Red Sox. 0-2 to Wells. To left and in for a hit for Vernon Wells. And an 0-2 pitch.
A multiple hit game for Vernon Wells. Had a double to start the game off back in the first inning. And here in the 9th picks out the 2-out single to keep it going for the Blue Jays.
So 2 down, Wells at first, and Reed Johnson, who was 1 for 4 in the game. And a single back in the 5th. He's had a couple of strikeouts tonight. John struck out McDonald, line to left. Wells with a 2-out single. And on the 1-0 pitch to Reed Johnson. On the ground to third. Lowell picks it, goes to second for the force out. Red Sox win. Able to secure game 3 of this 4-game series. They've taken 2 of the first 3 games. And victory number 11 of the season for Daisuke Matsuzaka. The offense really helped him out tonight. And Jason Varitek, one of the Boston home runs, turns out to be the game winner, a 2-run shot. W.B. Mason's extra innings is right around the corner. Stay with us, Jerry, and I'll be back here at Fenway right after this.